back and forth on Buckhead cityhood, and now Georgia's chief executive is involved and outspoken. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alan Devlin.
And I'm Tracy Hutchins. Governor Brian Kemp sent a memo to the group that's pushing for Buckhead to break with Atlanta to become its own city, expressing some concern over the potential impacts to everyone else who lives in Atlanta. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon read through the memo today. He's live along Peachtree Road in Buckhead. And Doug, the Buckhead City Committee, they've already responded to the letter, haven't they?
Yes, they have, guys. It took them just one day after this memo was issued to kind of come back and respond one by one to the questions that Kemp's Executive Council lays out in that short memo. Questions about how the city would pay for public works and even where Buckhead kids would go to school if they were to leave Atlanta. But the governor, he didn't take any questions about it today. Governor, can I ask you a question about the Buckhead City Commission? At an electric vehicle event outside the Capitol Wednesday, no additional comment from Governor Brian Kemp, one day after his office issued a memo spelling out concerns over the legality of Buckhead becoming its own city. The memo is essentially a list of questions about Senate Bills 113 and 114, which lay out terms for a split. Have proponents of the bills considered what greater impacts this precedent may have on municipal bond ratings, underwriting considerations, and the possibility of widespread default that could occur, asks one bullet point. Can proponents ensure students currently attending Atlanta public schools will be able to remain at the school they're currently attending, asks another. Their questions Humberto Garcia-Sogrum, founder of the group Neighbors for a United Atlanta, has asked himself. He doesn't want to leave Atlanta residents high and dry on finances.
You need to add a provision to this that says if that happens, they are repaid at that time, or Buckhead pays its portion at that time.
Bonds are loans that investors give to cities to build parks, roads, libraries, and infrastructure. If Atlanta loses Buckhead, which represents 30 to 40% of the city's tax base, they could default and ruin the city's credit rating.
We actually risk making things worse.
In a response to Kemp's memo, the Buckhead City Committee said on Wednesday it has every intention of staying true to their share of the payments and that students would remain at their APS schools. Humberto is hopeful that the memo is a sign Buckhead will stay the way it is, even if just for now.
The fact that the Governor's Council has come out and pointed out a series of issues, I think it's 10 on that list, and reasons why this is not constitutional certainly gives me hope.
And of course, we read through that response from the Buckhead City Committee today, but we reached out to them individually to get a separate comment on all of this. We did not hear back. We're in Buckhead tonight. Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.